Using heat. This is a major way that we remove paint and finishes here in the shop. And there's a reason that we do this. It's safer for us and safer for the material that we're using because it results in a whole lot less sanding. You can see up here, I've already done a little bit on this. Now there's some argument against this. Excuse me. There's some argument against this. Some people claim that you will remove the oils present in the wood by using heat. Well, the majority of most timber nowadays is dried in a kiln anyway, so that's unlikely to be the case. And after 50, 60, or in the case of this particular boat, almost 90 years, if there was oil present in the wood, it is unlikely to be there now anyway. Alright, so let's get on to how we do this. For the vast majority of the work, you can see that the heat is what does the work, okay? Not you. You're not doing nothing. So you want your heat gun to lay on your blade so that the blade is what is hot and not the piece of material that you're working with. Because otherwise you could scorch that wood and completely work against yourself. So you see here I'm laying it on there and then I push it along. The blade is doing the majority of the work. Now there's some heat that gets down to the wood, and that's fine, but we want to minimize that as much as possible. Alright, so here we go again. Put my blade down like this, lay it down, and just gently push it along. Now the blade of this scraper is sharpened flat, which that means that there is a 90-degree angle on there. There's no bevel to the sharpened edge. And that keeps it from diving down into the wood too bad, which it will do, especially since you're generally working with softwood when you work with canoes. Now, somebody's going to come along and say, that's fine for old finishes. Old finishes, blah, 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 we're just not as good. Alright. I enjoy a good argument. So I have here a brand new finish and an epoxy finish. Now, I don't know if I can hold these very well, but I'll try. And we're going to try to finish them just like we did the other, okay? So here we go. We're going to lay this down. And it does not want to stay. There we go. Let me turn you around so you can see. Alright, so again, laying it on there, and there we go. Now this is about 4 layers of a marine varnish. There we go. Strip the bare wood in 2 seconds. This is a stir stick, by the way, so there's probably 3 or 4 layers on there, and it'll sit there for weeks before we use it again. This is an epoxy-based finish. We use this as a kind of like a primer, and it's very tough stuff. But here you go. This is an epoxy finish. Not going to get this off in one shot, but I could significantly reduce the amount of sanding that I need to do. Look at that. That's almost down to the wood. I can see the grain of the wood under that. Just a few seconds. Nothing. Nothing to it. That's why we use heat. Now we use chemicals sometimes, and those have their drawbacks too. When you use a chemical, you have to wash that chemical off before you apply a new paint over top of it. And that can bring about its own set of problems. So if I can get away with using heat, I'm going to. It saves us a lot of time. And as you can see, I just peel it off. And when you get to a spot like this, where it's gummy and nasty, you just let it dry, let it cool down, and you can just come along and push it off. No problem. Just pushes right off. So I'll let that dry, because that's all it does, is you're basically melting it. And then I can just scrape it off. Nothing to it. So you can do this on doors, windows, tabletops. You know, if you're putting a lot of effort into cleaning something, then you should try to do it as much as you can, as quick as you can. And in these cases, I don't know what chemicals could be used here. And if I sand this, then those chemicals become a dust. I suppose arguably heating them up might do just the same thing, but the heat is on there for so little period of time that pretty sure that I'm minimizing my exposure by doing this. So that's it. Using heat, you can remove a whole lot.